Hi guys, I'm back on air. Today, I'm going to introduce to you 7 stories where the videos look perfectly normal, but the truth behind them is horrifying and haunting. And what's special is that all of them were recorded by the camera. Join me as we delve into these dark secrets. Let's get started.
1. Yuri Lipsky.
At first glance, it looks like a regular diving video, but this is the tragedy of a brave man named Yuri Lipsky, an experienced diver who chose an extremely dangerous dive spot. What happened when he decided to dive into the famous blue hole, despite everyone's warning?
Do you know there's a place in Egypt's Red Sea that divers call the Divers Cemetery? From above, it looks peaceful. In the year 2000, a skilled diver named Yuri Lipsky set out to explore its depths. He was confident in his abilities. He was well prepared, with high-quality gear and experience behind him. At first, everything seemed fine. He swam smoothly through the clear waters, but the deeper he went, the darker it became. The sunlight faded, the water turned black, and then nitrogen narcosis began to take hold. It's a dangerous condition, a kind of underwater intoxication that clouds a diver's mind. At over 300 feet deep, Yuri's thinking slowed. His sense of direction slipped away. He became disoriented, trapped in a silent, endless darkness. His breathing grew faster, and panic set in. The crushing weight of the ocean pressed down on him, and there was no way back. His camera recorded everything, his every movement, his every struggle. That haunting footage shows his last moments alive. When rescue divers finally found him, he was lying near a massive underwater arch, surrounded by old gear from other divers who had met the same fate. The blue hole may be stunning, but it hides a deadly truth. Even the most experienced divers can lose their lives here.
A tragic end for a passionate adventurer. The next story involves a horrifying murder in New York. What happened to Christina Yuna Lee, a talented young woman, right inside her apartment?
2. Christina Yuna Lee.
Christina Yuna Lee, 35 years old, was a talented creative working in the music industry. She moved to New York and lived in Chinatown, but unexpectedly met with a tragedy. The security camera recorded that horrifying moment.
This man appeared in court after breaking into a woman's home, stabbing her 40 times, then hiding under her bed. Asamad Nash, age 27, pleaded guilty to 1 count of second-degree murder and first-degree burglary in connection with the killing of Christina Yuna Lee, who was found dead in her Chinatown apartment, having been stabbed at least 40 times. Prosecutors said Lee was returning home when Nash followed her into her building in Manhattan's Chinatown and up 6 flights of stairs to her apartment. As Lee entered the apartment, Nash pushed his way inside and attempted to sexually assault her. Police were alerted by 911 calls and had to break the apartment door down to get inside after Nash tried to impersonate Lee's voice and told the police, "We don't need the police here, go away." They then found Nash hiding under a mattress and Lee dead in the bathroom with at least 40 stab wounds. After being arrested, Nash claimed that he was a friend of Lee's and that he was trying to protect her from another attacker. However, he later pled guilty to all charges after the overwhelming amount of evidence. He has not yet been sentenced. However, he is expected to be sentenced to 30 years to life in state prison during his sentencing hearing, which is scheduled for later this month. Let me know your thoughts. What sentence should he receive?
Guys, it's terrifying that an innocent person was murdered just because she was randomly followed and attacked by a stranger right in her own home. This is a cautionary tale about always being vigilant, even when you've returned home. The third story is another terrible personal tragedy, involving a man with a mental condition and a plane taking off. Kyler Effinger.
3. Kyler Effinger.
Do you understand what just happened? Kyler Effinger, 30 years old, was a friendly man who loved his family. He suffered from bipolar disorder and was going through a manic episode. What happened when he missed his flight to visit his dying grandfather?
I died climbing into the plane's engine because I didn't want to miss it. My name is Kyler Effinger. I'm 30 years old. On New Year's Eve, I was supposed to fly to Denver to see my sick grandfather. Unfortunately, I arrived too late for my flight, and the airline offered me the next one. Refusing to wait, I tried in vain to reach the boarding gate. Despite the closed doors and warnings from the staff, I persisted, even knocking on the door and looking for other ways. In desperation, I finally made my way through an emergency exit and onto the tarmac. There, as the plane was being de-iced and its engines were running, I tried to board through the jet engine. Unfortunately, my intrusion was spotted too late, and the emergency services intervened, but I didn't survive. Later, the authorities discovered my personal effects dumped on the runway, testifying to my determination to rejoin my grandfather. Under the circumstances, do you think it would have been possible to let me on board?
This is a heartbreaking story about the consequences of a mental health condition triggered by a crisis. Guys, I feel so sorry for him. A tragedy no one would wish for. From a psychological incident, we move to another savage murder. A girl traveling met a stranger on Tinder, and it was the first and the last time she ever saw him. Grace Mullane.
4. Grace Mullane.
That was the last video clip of Grace Mullane, 21 years old, who had just graduated and was enjoying a solo trip in New Zealand. She felt lonely and decided to use Tinder to find a date, but this date ended her life in a tragic way.
British tourist Grace Mullane went on a Tinder date in Auckland, New Zealand. At first, everything seemed to be going well. So well that she and 26-year-old Jesse Kempson went back to his hotel room. But Grace would never leave that room alive. The next day was her 22nd birthday. When her parents sent her messages and got no reply, they knew something was wrong. Days later, she was officially reported missing. Police soon uncovered chilling evidence. CCTV showed Kempson wheeling a large, heavy suitcase out of the hotel. Inside was Grace's body. On December 9th, 2018, she was found buried in the Waitakere Ranges, west of Auckland. She had been strangled. Kempson told the court it was a tragic accident during consensual sex, but the jury heard how he searched online for ways to hide a body, rented cleaning equipment, and spun a web of lies. In November 2019, he was convicted of murder. His sentence, life in prison with a minimum of 17 years before parole.
Guys, it's so unlucky that her trip ended tragically just because she trusted a stranger online, and never easily meet up with a stranger. Okay, this story is a warning about meeting strangers online. Now, we're going to look at a bigger story, related to politics and war. The Afghanistan event in Kabul airport.
5. Kabul Airport.
This is an extremely chaotic historical event. The scene at Kabul airport in 2021 when the US military withdrew from Afghanistan, leaving the capital to fall to the Taliban. The camera recorded the moment many citizens ran after the planes to escape. Class, take out your notebooks. Let's learn some history. In August 2021, after nearly 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the US decided to withdraw its troops following an agreement with the Taliban. This withdrawal led to the rapid collapse of the Afghan government, and the Taliban captured the capital Kabul. At Kabul airport, an unprecedented scene of chaos unfolded. Many US planes were deployed to evacuate journalists, politicians, and civilians at risk of retaliation. Although the US evacuated about 122,000 people, approximately 1,000 people were left behind. Desperate, Many citizens risked their lives to climb onto the planes to secure a chance to escape. The camera recorded hundreds of people running after the planes, and some fell from the sky after the planes took off.
6. Sarah Everard.
The video clip below contains the last images recorded of Sarah Everard, 33 years old, a marketing employee in London. After saying goodbye to her boyfriend on the phone, she walked home and was approached by a man. The terrifying thing is that the man was a real police officer.
This is the story of Sarah Everard, whose final walk home became a national tragedy and a call for change. In March 2021, Sarah Everard, a 33-year-old marketing executive, left a friend's house in Clapham, South London, around 9 p.m. She was walking home to Brixton, a journey she'd done before, about 50 minutes on foot. She took well-lit roads, wore bright clothes, and spoke to her boyfriend on the phone for part of the walk. Around 9:28 p.m., she was caught on a doorbell camera walking alone on Poinders Road. That was the last time she was seen alive. A white Vauxhall Astra hire car had pulled up nearby. Inside was Wayne Cousins, a 48-year-old Metropolitan Police officer. He was off duty, but in possession of his police ID, handcuffs, and belt. He stopped Sarah and pretended to arrest her under COVID lockdown rules. Witnesses later said it looked like a real arrest. She complied, got into the car, and was never seen again. The next day, Sarah didn't turn up for work. Her boyfriend reported her missing. A large-scale police search began. CCTV and vehicle tracking led investigators to the hire car, which was booked under Cousins' name. On March 9th, Cousins was arrested at his home in Kent. That same day, police found receipts showing he bought petrol, builder's bags, and visited remote land owned by his family. On March 10th, human remains were discovered in a wooded area near Ashford. They'd been burned and hidden inside a large builder's bag. 2 days later, dental records confirmed it was Sarah. What happened to her was horrific. Cousins had driven her to a remote area, arped her, and then ended her life using his police belt. He placed her body in a bag, stored it in a fridge in a rented garage, then burned it and dumped the remains in a nearby pond. He tried to cover his tracks, but the evidence was overwhelming. Phone data, CCTV, and purchase history all tied him to the crime. What made it even worse? Cousins had already been reported for indecent exposure multiple times, including just days before he took Sarah. His colleagues had even nicknamed him the rapist. But nothing was ever done. In June 2021, Cousins pled guilty to kidnapping, RP, and MD. In September, he received a full life sentence, with no chance of parole. He became the first British police officer ever to receive that kind of sentence. Sarah's death sent shockwaves across the UK. There were mass vigils, protests, and a national conversation about women's safety. One of the biggest vigils, held in Clapham, turned violent when police began arresting women. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Sarah was doing everything women are told to do to stay safe. And yet, she still didn't make it home. Her story became more than just a tragedy. It became a symbol of how urgently things need to change.
7. One boy, two kittens.
This video is so horrible that I can't show it here. And it probably came from the dark web. It's sick and makes me question the ethics of this person.
Dark story behind.
One boy, two kittens.
In the beginning of the video, you can see kittens and a guy clearly recording them. The guy takes the kitten and places them in a clear bag. He then takes a vacuum and puts it over the bag, causing the kittens to suffocate. This was very sad to see because the kittens attempted to escape. People tried looking for his address and unfortunately they failed and he continued abusing kittens. There was a video called Bath Time Lull where he was drowning kittens.
This story is very famous online, but please don't try to look for the video. It can be extremely haunting for you.
8. The kid with grandma.
If you watch the video, you will think it is just a normal video with a grandmother. But if you look more strangely, there is something strange about the grandmother. Her empty eyes do not look like a normal person.
Let's talk about the kid with a dead grandma. In the Philippines, year 2019, October 28th, a mother with the name Teresa Del Campo and a son that is 7 years old really likes to take selfies while her mom Teresa was doing works. But a strange day when Teresa's son took a horrifying video showing their dead grandma that has passed away last year.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow so I can keep protecting you from these creepy mysteries. Thanks for watching, my dear friends. See you in the next video. Bye.